Does it sometimes feel like you're scrolling through your life? Do you feel a chronic sense that your scrolling habit is leaving you unfulfilled at the end of the day? As of 2018, 70% of the things we watch on YouTube comes from the recommended section. This is the place for people in process, so just know that I'm not judging you for it. You know that feeling, that combination of disappointment and shock, when you realize how much time you've actually been spent feeding, watching, reading, scrolling? Sound familiar? Well, what can we do about it? How to kick a mindless scrolling habit, sourced from Medium and linked in the description, will have some answers for us. Step 1. Admit you have a problem. The first step in battling any addiction is to recognize you have one, and mindless scrolling is no exception. This is the first step in a 12-step model of recovery, something that one of my online mentor, Russell Brand, applies to everything he does. The feeling of eyes glazing over is familiar to me. The good feelings you get from seeing something new. It's almost like playing a slot machine. Oh wait, that's exactly what it is. Could it be that this is all by design? Quite possibly. But what would be the motivation, other than to get you spending as much time on the platform as possible? And why would you want to do that anyway? Number 2. Turn off notifications. It is difficult to ignore anything or any person, for that matter, when they are always making their presence known.
Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Okay, I'm looking at you. What do you want?
Hi.
Yep, I am definitely going to be trying this one. 3, 4, and 5. Don't sleep next to your phone, put your phone in another room, and in fact, leave your phone at home altogether. I combined these 3 because they are basically all saying the same thing. Is being without your device difficult for you? I sometimes feel something akin to phantom limb when I'm unplugging from my devices. So I said to him, I don't pop Molly, I rock Tom Ford. All jokes aside, spending time off devices is incredibly important, in my experience. This article features some pro tips about the importance of not using devices at night before bed, as it affects sleep, which affects everything. By eliminating that constant capacity to live plugged in, there can be a period of time that is disorienting, to say the least. ASAPScience made a more in-depth video on that matter, and I encourage you to watch it. So, if you're trying this for the first time and don't feel like you can be away from your phone for 15 minutes, start with 5 and work your way up. Incremental progress is everything. Number 6. Turn on grayscale. The idea being here that without color, apps and videos will be less entertaining, though this tip only works if you're not a fan of black and white movies, I suppose. Number 7. Take the apps off your phone. Pretty straightforward tip here. If you don't have the apps, then you won't be using the apps. In my experience, this does not make the need to check the apps disappear. Then there will always be the ability to re-download apps after taking them off one's phone, so I personally opt to use website blockers that make it impossible to check in on sites that waste my time when there's work to be done, but that's just my preference. Number 8. Set boundaries. When breaking a bad habit, it's best to be intentional. Set specific boundaries for phone usage, like when you can first look at it, what time you're allowed to check what, and how many hours you can take between scrolls. That's a great reminder. As much as this is about contending for sovereignty amidst temptations never before known to humankind, this process of weaning away from mindless scrolling is profoundly personal as well. When we stop the mindless, we make space for the mindful. And for me, this process is about reconnecting with myself. It's about letting the dust settle, discovering who I am, and who I can be when I'm not constantly distracting myself. I should note that there are plenty of incredibly logical reasons for why we would want to be distracting ourselves today. So much is happening in the world, and it's a natural impulse to want to tune it out while simultaneously wanting to take so much in. But that does it for this video. What did you think of these tips? And are there any tips that work for you that weren't on this list? Let me know down below. And until next time, be well, and power to the people in process.